got hairs everywhere. Okay, anyways. Hey there, everyone, it's Moose, and thank you so much for joining me back here today. We're going to do another Hooked or Booked. We're going to do a book review. We're going to be talking about An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I saw the cover of this book. I work at a bookstore, and I saw the cover of this book, and I thought it was really pretty. And so I wanted something that was a one-off, that wasn't very long, and that I could get through quickly, and so I picked this up. Looking back at the reviews and stuff, I did look at some reviews after I finished it. I just finished it today, but it wasn't received well. A lot of people were disappointed about it. So we're gonna go over all that stuff, and I'll tell you what I think about it too. So to start off, this book is about Isabel, who is a portrait artist in the town, the world. It's not a world. It's like, I guess it's a town of whimsy, like the realm of whimsy. She is a portrait artist for the fair folk, who are these immortal creatures that cannot lie and cannot feel emotion. So this book is about Isabel painting a portrait of a fair one named Rook. And in this portrait, she paints emotion into his face. And the rest of the fair folk see this as problematic and degrading, I guess, because you're not supposed to have emotion. It's against the law. And because of this, Rook gets angry at her, and he whisks her away to stand trial for her crimes. But along the way, they kind of get to know each other, they experience each other, and he realizes that she didn't do it to harm him. And so they end up going to the different courts. There's the spring realm, in the summer, in the winter, and then the fall is where Rook is from. And so they end up in the spring court. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but they end up in the spring court, and some things change, and by the end of the book, everything is resolved. It does have a happy ending, and I think that might be why people didn't care much for it. I personally like this book a lot for what it was. A lot of people said this book was disappointing and that it fell short, and to an extent, I agree with that. I think it could have been more fleshed out. This book is less than 300 pages. It's right at 300 pages. It's like 273 or something like that. And considering the content within it and the world that, what's her name, Rogerson created, I think it had more potential than what she gave it. Like, the world is what makes me love it so much. The concept of the fair folk interests me so much that I really do wish she had written more about it, and that she'd fleshed it out more, and that we got more development within the story. With that being said, this story I would consider like a typical YA romance kind of story. The love within it is very quick. Everything within this novel happens very quickly within the span of a couple days. And they fall in love within that realm. And that's not a spoiler because the back of the book says it too. So I'm just throwing that in there real quick. But they do. It's a love story. And it was very quick to the point where it was almost unrealistic. That's one of the gripes I have with the novel. The writing itself was good. I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. If I had really just sat down and read this book, I could have finished it in like a day or two. It took me a little bit longer just because I haven't had time to read it as much. But it is a quick read. Like I say, it's less than 300 pages. And the writing is done well. But I had to burp. But there are some parts in the book where I don't know if it was me. I've been kind of distracted lately, so I don't know if it was me when reading it that I had to go back and reread some sentences, or if it was the way that it was written, like a continuous writing, or sometimes I feel like she needed commas where she didn't put commas and all that kind of stuff. But maybe that's just the English major coming out in me too, so maybe I'm being a little unfair. The writing was overall good, though. I enjoyed it. The writing wasn't too immature. You know, it is classified as a teen fiction book, and I do get that feeling from this book, but not in such a way that I would not recommend it to other people. So I did enjoy it. The writing was good. Like I say, the only thing that kind of holds me back in this novel is that I don't feel like it was long enough, and the development just wasn't there. And I guess there's more than one only thing, but those things in the romance within it make me hesitant to love it as much as I want to, because I do want to love this book, and I did enjoy it throughout the whole time reading it, but just looking back on it, I realized that it could have been better, It had more potential and it didn't reach that potential. Overall, I would classify this book as like a fluff book. That's what I call them. Books that you don't go into expecting to get some deep moral out of. You know, books that you just read specifically for enjoyment, for the fluff of it. I categorize the Twilight books within that realm too. I enjoy those. So what? I enjoy reading them because they're fluff books. I just get enjoyment out of them. I don't think they're critically acclaimed, you know, in the realm of English criticism or anything like that. You know, magazines and stuff might enjoy them, but I don't think that they're going to be classics in the near future. And the same goes for this one. I don't think it's going to be a classic or anything like that. It doesn't have any big, deep moral that you'll take anything from. I don't think. I didn't. Maybe you will. But on the overall spectrum, I think it's just a fluff book. With that being said, I don't think it was a bad book. As I have already said, I did enjoy it quite a lot when reading it. So I would say I'm hooked on this book. I know a lot of people gave it a lot of flack, and I'm late on the review to reviewing it. But I sincerely enjoyed it. And if you're just looking for a quick read that is enjoyable and has a little bit of romance, because, I mean, everybody likes those things every once in a while, right? I would recommend picking this up. I did enjoy it. I will recommend it if someone asks me for a quick read, including those things. So, with that being said, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and comment down below. We'll have more book reviews in the future. We'll be hooked or booked again. That's me booking a book out of the way, I guess. I don't know. All right. Meet you back here next time, guys. See ya. It's based about her drawing a portrait, painting a portrait of this A lot of people said that it was disappointing. Gosh, my chicken's won't shut up. The whole concept of the fair folk interests me so much that I really do. Why does that always happen? It's whatever. I'm just going to leave it.